So right now I'm going to pick on myself. I had a, gosh, I don't remember the name of it. I want to call it a Denison bar. But I was born 10 pounds 6 ounces. I was 22 inches long, 2 weeks overdue. So I came out literally like a butterball turkey. So it's not that I had per se club feet, but my feet were wrapped around my abdomen or whatever when I came out, because I'd just been stuffed in a, 10 pounds 6 ounces for a girl in 64, and I was a natural delivery. No, what's really funny, you know how women tend to be more modest, especially back then? First of all, my mom's real name is Mary Jane, but we refer to her as Jane. She does not like to be called Mary Jane, but in a legal situation like hospital settings, she's referred to as Mary Jane, because that's her given name. So everyone was coming in New York City, in this hospital. I was at New York Lying In, which is now I think Columbia, to see the big baby being born. So my mom was like, like a display at Saks Fifth Avenue as far as the prenatal ward goes. So anyway, and so she doesn't have fond memories. And not only that, but everyone was teasing my dad at work that he gave birth to a hippopotamus. So, So, and anyway, so that was that. But the first thing my dad said when he saw me was like, what's wrong with her feet? So for all the people out there that complain about flat feet, I've only seen one person that had, quote, really flat feet. And I'm like, how do you walk? But I have flat feet. But not only do I have flat feet, and again, I'll pick on myself, I'm 50 this year, so it's not like I'm a spring chicken. But because of these boots, okay, so the Denison bar, so it was 2 boots, and this is what I'm talking about, sitting. The boots were like in this position with a bar in between. So they were high ankle boot, stiff white leather, and the bar in between. And I think my mom kept it for the longest time. I finally was like, chuck these things. Just sitting in this position right now, I can't tell you what it's doing to my right hip. But I had to wear that from 6 to 9 months. So because of that, I bypassed a lot of going to standing. So I didn't walk till I was 21 months old. I think because I became so proficient in crawling. My mom says I can get down the hallway in like 3 seconds flat. I could just go boom. But also because of pre-long crawling, and so I know I've shown it before, but the way my knees and body set up, so if you look at my feet straight, especially, see how I have femoral torsion? So see how my femur actually comes like this? I don't have a straight leg. You'll see it really, like, so let's say if I go down on my knees like this, or like in karate, if I go to do a kick, see how I have to literally, to lift my femur straight, my foot is almost just totally at a 45-degree angle. If I go like this, then my knee comes in so much and it blows me on exams. So like if I do like in karate, because again, that's what I do, so especially with this knee, if I'm in a horse stance, I'm still bow-kneed. I'm supposed to bring my knees all the way out like this, and let me tell you again what it does to my back, because this is, see, because my knee comes in, it's so obvious. See, if I bring my legs straight, how much my knee wants to curve. So what it is that, see, this is crawling. My legs are now straight, my femurs are straight. I crawled so much I deformed my lower leg because it's this position. So, and on top of that, I don't know what I did. Look at how swollen this knee is compared to this knee. See? So, and I really notice it when I go to do something like that, because just the squeezing. Now it doesn't hurt. None of this hurts. I'm not in any pain whatsoever. But I'm just saying that I don't look like the anatomy book. I never will. I'm scared to death, God forbid I ever, quote, need a knee replacement, because I don't know how you'd line that sucker up. It's not like they make knees like this, because that's what my body is used to. So that being said, I'm going to talk about sitting. And this is probably why subconsciously I'm really against AFOs. I realize that it, quote, straightened my legs out, but nobody looked at the long-term complications that I might have. All they were concerned at is if we straighten the legs, everything else will be okay. So, that's why I'm keeping my sneakers on. So if I'm a baby in this position with my feet in a very static, how do you expect me to sit up? This is where you see the shape of my back. You know, even when I'm, quote, standing up straight, my bones in my back are already so shaped, because what I'm trying to do, sort of, oh, you know how like here in Arizona they plant the palm trees here and they turn? This is what my back is doing. Since my back was literally going crooked, to go up straight with my head, you can see where my bend is to bring my head up. So, and like I said, I can hardly maintain this position anymore because I have to use such ab works. So, one of the things that happened during my training, and I don't know if I can do it with my sneakers on, is I was finally, was able to do a crisscross. And I was like so excited because literally I'd have to go like this because my hip was not capable, because with that bar on my feet, what I wasn't learning was side sitting, you know, and all of these. So when a baby's sitting and they're playing, you'll start to see this freedom. Now, even in this position, I lean back. You will see, and this is where I'll do it on our lead to show you that coming over your pelvis, and this is why this is something I work on all the time. But, you know, someone who can do a split, or, you know, or like this, stretches, and so if I'm doing a stretch in class, you know what I mean, this is all you're getting, folks, because I can't go up and I mean, you can see people that can do that, but they can come up and over their pelvis. So when you're dealing with a child, let's say with CP, right? Where's the sit-up going to go? So to ask a child to sit up and pay attention, this is so much work. Now you want me to, my eyes float up to the chalkboard and come down again? And then they're all wondering why their child is, quote, delayed in school. So I almost wonder sometimes, so if you come to the corner, see now I'm completely different here. I'm going to do it more so for side for camera. So if I'm here, again, my pelvis wants to go more rounded because that's just what it's developed. This is an effort for me because then I can feel where, again, because now the curve in my back, now my back wants to go this way to bring the head up, and it's used to going this way to bring the head up. So, but again, I can say, oh, forget it, or I can work with it. I choose to work with it, but I still can feel my limitations to do something like this to come over my pelvis without it feeling like I have to respond and really yank my system up. So I actually like, and I was wondering if some chairs in the classroom should be on this angle. Look at the difference with my back and how I can come over my pelvis with the square here versus a chair being straight like this.
I saw a chair, it was like, several was like rectangle, and it's tilted back, down.
Right.
So that you sit like sitting on the horse,
Oh.
and then it's tilted down, so you try to force myself to be up.
Well, see, again, that's where when you have a force, like if I had muscular contractions like this, if it was tilted, that kind of force through the pelvis, and I'll teach you that. If I tighten my abs and do a whole six-pack tighten the pelvis, my upper quadrant is shot. So again, to look at the class board, to look at a teacher, to look at it versus again. And what's nice about it, almost a chair in this position, is my pelvis is free. So that's another thing to look at with the kids in a classroom. So if I were here, and I don't know which way to do it. Anyway, you can't see my feet in the tape. I can't get everything what was on the tape. But if I was here, I'm still restricted in the pelvis because my legs are going straight. Well, yet if I'm here, now I have the back part of my pelvis, you know. So I will do certain kids and whatever, especially if they have cerebral palsy, sometimes more so on the corner of my table, and I will come behind them. The reason I come behind them too, because I need to show them slowly, and I have lots of videos on this, but we're gonna work on this again today, how to come over your pelvis, how to work through this. Because again, when my pelvis is available, I can reach. And that's one of the pre-K type kindergarten lessons that I came up with, is how to work with the dimensions of your table, with who you are in your seat. Because if a child doesn't establish this, it's very hard to give directions at a teacher. Oh, over to your right corner or on the top corner, and they're like, Jimmy's desk? No, you're, you know, like, they're just spatial relationship, and you're thinking, again, it's cognitive, but they're very easy, almost movement lessons that you can do in the classroom, very similar to a brain drip, to learn how to work your area, yet still stay seated. Because that's too, when you see the quote ADD, because they, let's say if I had to get to this chair, well, I can't rotate to get to it. Oh, I got it, versus just being able to lean over and go, oh, this, you know, this is such a, and again, this is what I was just showing you what Arlie was doing. That's where, again, I have no concern either with the ADD thing, because she can go and work the room and stuff. So when you're saying, what about that ball? And she's just like, oh yeah, this over here, okay, I can go get it. I can get it and look at you at the same time. So she's really developing those almost adult responses that we now look for. And you can see it quite clearly at an 8-month-old level. Where, again, I don't think people pay attention to the importance of that kind of significance. And that does that make more sense to both of you since you're teachers? So, where again, most kids these days don't know how to work a room. Again, that's functional vision. So instead of just going, you know, when you say pull the chair closer to you, where a kid would be going, oh, over here, you know, because now I'm gone, so what's closer to me? So the sense of directions are off, but also, who am I, you know, as far as that goes, you know, in relationship. So now I'm going to pick on Orly, if she doesn't mind.